Hey everyone, welcome back. So today I want to discuss a topic that probably hasn't really been mentioned in the cybersecurity world or specific to cybersecurity. All you do hear is about what certifications to take, what kind of education you should have, and of course, you need experience in order to get a position. But if you don't get this position, you'll never get the experience. So where does the endless loop ever come into play, and how do you conquer all that? I do want to bring up a pretty sad situation that we're currently going through, and it's has to do with the unemployment rate. Now, I know it's not specific to cybersecurity, but if it's affecting one industry or multiple industries and it's affecting multiple markets or different departments, it trickles down. Any position that you're sitting in, whether it's accounting or you're a mechanic or you're a car salesman, all that factors into everything with the job market. It could be retail, it could be banking, it could be so many different industries because right now people are spending less because interest is high, inflation is high, and we're having a lot of difficulties. And now I do not want to say this is an economics channel, but you have to put things into perspective sometimes. You have to make decisions that is right for you. So one thing I want to say right now, and I have been getting a lot of comments and a lot of feedback from people who say, hey, I want to transition to cybersecurity. I'm not knocking that. I'm not saying you can't, but if you have a situation where you need to study more, you need to obtain more experience. And if you're going to say, how am I going to get more experience if I don't get into it or study for it or someone's going to hire me, which is very, very true. And it's really sad that this exists. Now, I don't want to go in a full circle or say things that doesn't make sense. And I'm trying to make my best effort and also having everyone who's watching this video understand right now is that if the current unemployment rate is high, that's going to trickle down to every other profession, whether it's cybersecurity or not. And on top of all that, the situation right now kind of difficult to predict what's going to happen in the future markets. Rates have to come down, and from that point on, of course, the people are borrowing more money and people are looking for more houses and the banks are starting to get busy, and if interest is low, people are borrowing more money for loans, business loans, company loans, personal loans, and they're spending more. As people spend more, the whole economy becomes more prosperous, and we can't deliver on the demand unless we hire more people, so on and so forth, right? You get the idea. So one thing I want to show you guys, actually a couple of things I want to show you guys right now, what the current cybersecurity market looks like. As far as demand and what the salaries are and who they're trying to hire versus who's out there looking for these jobs. And I do want to say a couple months back, not too long ago, and it's probably still happening today, the unemployment or people getting laid off from the tech industry, not just tech industry, but a lot of sectors across the board are letting people go. These people are on the market looking for jobs because they need one versus people who are currently in positions they just want to get out of and trying to land a new role or a new gig. Yeah, there's a lot of competition. Like I said before, the market is still very, very saturated. And how do you avoid that? How can you better yourself? You could probably watch tons and tons of YouTube videos telling you, hey, Security Plus is great, CEH is not, CISSP is great. All these certifications, yes, it does make you stand out just a little bit more, but as more and more people are obtaining these certifications, where do you draw the line? How do you know who's who and who's better than the other, right? You can't. You really have to sit them down, go on an interview. Possibly, it may not be a real position because they're just going through the motions, which I have done before. You go through the motions, but you have already decided to promote someone internally because it's just easier, cheaper, and they already understand the culture of the organization opposed to hiring someone outside. Then they need orientation and training and all this other great stuff. Not to say there is more, which I have noticed personally, more and more consultant positions for cybersecurity that has been opening up. And the reason why that is because it's cheaper. Now, I know some of you may say, yeah, they're outsourcing it to a third world country or they're outsourcing it from the outside of the United States. Some, yes, possible, true, it can be. But a lot of other ones or organizations are hiring within the United States, but just hiring it as consultants. Why? Because the liability is less, right? If you wanted to get rid of a consultant, hey, we cut your ties. So you have a 1-year contract. After the year, you're done. Get out. You're, depending on how the situation is financially by that end of the contract, we can renew. If not, hey, we part our ways. I don't owe you anything. I don't owe you sick time. I don't owe you paid leave. I don't owe you any medical coverage whatsoever. Cheaper, safer, more economical route for bigger corporations and companies. They do it all the time. Now, you may come across certain organization where they mix the two, right? Someone internally as part of the organization, a full-time hire that pays, they pay for their medical and they pay for all their benefits and their pension and their 401k, may manage these different consultants. That's how it usually works in certain industries. I'm pretty familiar with that. I've been there, done that as well. So let me just show you guys really quick in regards of what I'm talking about. I don't want to make this an entirely crazy video, depressing anyone. It's more of, you have to understand what the current job market is in order for you to decide if you want to leave what it is that you're doing as a profession and jumping into this current cybersecurity market, which is not as glamorous as some people make it seem to be. Okay. Yes, you can learn about Nmap, you can learn about all those technical jargons, you can learn about pen testing, but the reality is who is hiring. That's more important. What you have to do on your searches is look for what companies are actually hiring, what kind of positions you can actually fill based on what you can actually do in order to succeed. So here I just want to point out that the US job growth has slowed and unemployment ticketed higher in July, which is, just 2 months ago. And we're already in September. The entire July and August has not been very well in regards to hiring. There was more unemployment than normal. Economy only created 114,000 new jobs in July, which is the second lowest monthly gain in more than 4 years. Now, this 114,000 jobs is obviously all across the board. It could be retail, it could be a mechanic, it could be cook, accountants, everything combined. It's not just related to cybersecurity or IT in general. When you put in perspective of every market, every profession out there that's getting paid to do something, 114,000 across the United States is pretty damn low. Apparently, there's more people being let go than they're hiring or rehiring for the same position, if that position even exists anymore. Okay. Additionally, June's job growth was revised lower. So what they already had documented for June has now they've gone back and re-documented the numbers to be lower. Unfortunately, that's where we are in this current economy right now. It's not the greatest time to transition. I'm not saying you can't. If you have a great lead, you have someone that's potentially able to bring you on board and you're sitting through interview, I'm not saying that it doesn't exist. I'm not saying that the job market is not hiring people, but the challenges are that it's going to be more difficult to find something more attractive because salaries are coming down. That's a given. I'm not making up stories. If you look for any IT jobs, cybersecurity jobs, salaries are coming down. I have seen it, experienced it. I am still experiencing it. Director positions, senior leads, anyone of even a higher stature with years of experience. I have seen cybersecurity director positions as low as 145,000. Back in the day, and I'm saying back in the day like it was like many decades ago. No, we're talking about 2-3 years ago. 145,000 was a junior SOC person or mid-level SOC person getting paid that much, which is pretty crazy if you think about it, right? Salaries are definitely readjusting. And on the unfortunate part of all this is that while that is happening, inflation has not gone down. It keeps on rising. It keeps on going up. So a lot of factors to consider. While the job growth, right here slowed, the nation's unemployment rate rose to 4.3%. It's the highest level since October of 2021. That's something to really understand. 4.3% does not sound a lot, but when you do 4.3% across the United States, it's a significant amount. It is a good amount of people who are unemployed, looking for jobs. They're not in the position where they're working and they want to transition off to something else. Now, granted, there are Reddit forums where people have multiple jobs, 2, 3, 4, and those do exist. Are they greedy? Yes. Is that fair? No. So it is a tough market. But remind you, if the market was doing well, meaning if everyone wasn't in this scenario, if the unemployment rate was at like 2%, let's just say, certain individuals were holding multiple jobs, right? You could be a chef at night and an IT support person during the day, or even within the same profession. Right? You could be IT support during the day and you're doing a double shift at another company at nights and so on and so forth. That takes away from someone else that has no job. That is definitely a challenge. Unfortunately, there's more of less jobs, right? So there's more of less jobs right now. And the challenging part is people who hold these certain jobs are holding on for them longer. They're not as flexible as saying, hey, I don't want to work here, I want to move on. More difficult to find a position, go through an interview, because it just may not exist. The outcome of you being called for an interview is a lot lower now because of the saturation of the market. So many other people on it. That specifically applies to cybersecurity as well. There is a lot of people who I know personally are not making moves right now because of the situation. So you have to take all that and analyze it and make sure that what you're trying to accomplish aligns with what is going on with you financially. Let's go over to here. It still says within the United States, right? We're looking at this heat map, and this heat map is one that I always come back to. The national average of cybersecurity job openings, but remember, these cybersecurity job openings is across the board from juniors to the most advanced CISOs, and they're currently sitting at 469,930 jobs. That's really exact, but it definitely should be a little more give and take, right? There's no way the accuracy can be down to the single digits. But here, they're not showing the whole unemployment rate, where we are with that. Who's getting unemployed? Who's getting let go? Are cybersecurity professionals being let go? Now, some of you may debate this and say, what's the way cybersecurity in the United States are being let go? Because they're like the insurance policy of a company, the protector, the police. I have heard and I have seen people, companies, organizations outsource to other countries to fulfill these roles. Don't ever be too surprised that individuals are being let go, even in the cybersec industry. Going back here, this is just another chart of the current unemployment rate. And you can see way back in 2023, it was a lot lower. Hiring rates were definitely higher. There was more positions being posted and at higher salaries. As we come into the current market of May, June, and July, a lot of things that ties back politically. There's a lot of things that tie back to the current industry with what it is that they're doing. Retail is just doing horribly. If retail is doing horribly, vacancies are high, meaning there's more vacancies, right? More vacancies, landlords aren't making as much. Again, the whole economy just trickles down. And I'm going back to all this because I want to say that the whole cybersecurity thing is you have to be really careful. Yes, I can look over your resume. Yes, you can go and study for your master's degree in cybersecurity. You can take all these certifications, but without the job market being better than what it is currently, it'll be difficult, even for the most seasoned professional with all the certification under their belt, to land a great job. Now, the challenges here are you're going against other people that may be a lot more experienced, have more knowledge in this industry, willing to take a pay cut because they're not currently working. That's where the challenges and the differences come in. I personally have taken pay cuts. I personally have done that because it only made sense. Yeah, it only made sense sometimes. But my thing is, I don't want to steer you away from any of this, from being a cybersecurity professional, even though you're currently in another profession doing something else. You could be a car mechanic, accountant, a biochemist, whatever it is that you're doing. I want to promote this as best as I can. What I want to say is that if you're transitioning into a new profession, no matter what it is that you're doing, but for argument's sake, we're using cybersecurity. If you get into this, you have no experience, you're going to be expected to make either one, less than what you were making professionally while you were doing the other profession because you had more experience, or two, because your other profession didn't make that much to begin with and you want to transition over to cybersecurity because you want to make more money, it's going to be a little wait. It's not going to happen. Six-figure SOC jobs are becoming more rare. Six-figure SOC senior jobs, possibly. A lot of these position salaries are coming down because there's more people out there. The saturation is there. There's more people coming out with certifications. There's more people coming out with master degrees in cybersecurity. Whatever it is, you name it, it's out there. The more there is in quantity, what happens? Price drops. So that's what I want to share with you guys today. Hopefully this made more sense. I am still going over resumes. I want to help you guys as much as I can. And this is what this channel is all about. Like I said previously, if you haven't done it already, please hit that like, comment, subscribe, and then I'll see you guys again really soon. Take care.